Welcome back to the Rose YouTube channel. What we've got for you is a video with a suspension refresh on a 986 Boxster 3.2S. So Joel came down, we did a long shoot with him replacing all the suspension components. We didn't replace the shock absorbers because Spyder Performance don't have those parts. But just to be clear, this is a Spyder Performance video and all fitted by Rose Porsche. Right, so let's get started. Let me show you all the Spyder Performance products and let's show you how we fit them. So I'm going to take you over to the ramp where we're going to be doing the work on your car.
Yes.
We've already laid out the parts we're going to fit on your car. This is what we call the Spyder Performance experience, because we're going to be using all of Spyder Performance parts. They're direct replacements for all the Porsche parts, just all the suspension arms, tuning forks, coffin arms, track arms, etc. And this is what we're going to be fitting on your car today. So to start off, the very famous coffin arms, also known as lower control arms.
So presumably, how many of these are there? Because
there's 4 of them.
4 of these, so 1 for each corner. And with this whole suspension refresh,
yes,
will it make a noticeable difference to how the car drives?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you think the suspension components are, now look, we haven't looked under your car just yet, but we're going to assume, like most of them that haven't had these sorts of arms replaced, it's probably going to be all the original equipment from factory. If you think how many years old, you know, what year is your car?
2003.
2003, so we're looking at sort of
almost 20 years old.
Almost 20 years. So it's going to be all original from 20 years ago. So certainly, by the time we replace all these components, do a 4-wheel alignment, we can figure out what sort of setup you want, if you want just a standard setup or whether you want a fast road setup. The stand-up setup will give you the best wear on your tyres. Fast road will be in spec, but a little bit more camber. And just depends if you're planning on doing any track days in the vehicle. So I'm opening up here the 2-wheel drive top mounts,
Okay.
which are relevant to your vehicle. We also do the forward-wheel drive, but there's obviously a 2-wheel drive.
Yep.
These come with the bearing. Also part of doing the front shock absorber top mounts, what you do is the bump stops. They tend to break up over time, sort of thing that most customers see on their reports.
I think Chris pointed out in the last video as well that there was some moisture building up around those.
Yeah.
So,
and then at the top of the shock absorber, you've got conical washers, and they corrode. So what we'll do is replace them at the same time.
it's quite surprising actually to see the amount of components that are going to be going on the car. And it's very satisfying actually just how brand new and clean they all are. It's
they
a really
don't
nice
stay clean
feeling
for very
actually.
long, not with our British roads this time of year.
Especially, yeah, all the salt and everything. This car is absolutely filthy actually and needs a good old clean. But I want to get it mechanically good.
Yeah.
And then we can focus on cleaning it, I think.
Right, so next what we've got is steering track arms. You've got what we call the inner joint over there. It's obviously one for each side. And then we've got the outer joint.
Okay.
And that connects the hub side. Okay, so that's the front end for you. Let's move on to the rear end. So what we've got is rear track arms. And another one.
You could start a career as one of those unboxing YouTubers. You just sit at home.
What's the pay grade like?
Yeah, well, terrible if you ask me. But these unboxing children that do it, they earn millions. You've got the face for it and everything.
Right, and now we've got front tuning forks.
Nice.
It's called a tuning fork because it looks very much like a tuning fork, also known as a suspension support arm or control arm. So these are the rear tuning forks. As you can see, these are significantly longer than the fronts. On the Boxsters, they have these longer tuning forks.
Wow.
Whereas on the likes of a 996, they would have the same as the fronts, exactly the same length. So yeah, that's quite a long.
And how close to sort of, excuse me, how close to sort of OEM specification are this Spyder Performance components?
So,
are they slightly improved or lightweight or?
They're a direct replacement.
Okay.
So they'll be the same weight, the same shape. The biggest difference is going to be the cost. For instance, something like this coffin arm, genuine genuine from the original manufacturer, would cost around £280 plus VAT per arm. And I think from Spyder Performance, something like 45 quid plus VAT.
Seriously? Wow.
Yeah.
So that's a huge...
Yeah. Comes with the same warranty. It comes with a 2-year warranty. So, you know, if it was my vehicle, I'd definitely be fitting, certainly, you know, pattern parts, because it's not necessary. You can get the same quality just for a significantly less price. So.
I guess the main sort of expense that goes into this sort of work is labour, because it is quite intensive, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's quite complex.
Absolutely. But it keeps us busy. One of our biggest contributions towards our annual turnover is suspension work.
Okay.
And that's why we got the 4-poster ramp.
Yeah.
You know, we're doing alignments every week in, week out, we're doing them. So when we take your steering track arms off, you're going to the track rod gaiters. We'll have to replace the clips. And then last of all, for the rear coffin arms, you've got the camber adjusters, the eccentric bolts. So we'll be replacing those. Sometimes you don't need to replace them, but quite often they're corroded. And for a couple of extra quid, you can just replace them.
Yeah, if we're doing all this work, it might as well be done as well.
And then the other eccentrics are for the rear track arms, and that's what you get the adjustment with.
Yeah, I mean, I'm intrigued to know how much difference it will make to how the car drives, and of course, I'll get to drive it home this afternoon and find out. So, thank you so much.
I'm 100% confident you're gonna be texting me later.
Okay.
With a big smile on your face.
Okay. And then hopefully coming back at some point for some more stuff, which we will talk about at a future date. But let me just say thank you so much for fitting this all in today for me, and looking forward to seeing the work getting done.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Let the fun begin.
Let the fun begin, indeed.
So we're going to start with the rear track arms. That's normally an indication of what might be coming.
Yeah.
I get the feel that your rear track arms are going to be, the bolts are going to be seized.
Okay.
And then, well, that's when it gets fun, you know, because then we're going to have to cut them out rather.
Okay.
And quite often you don't have the room to cut anything else. The rule of thumb is when you're loosening the nut, if the eccentric then turns on its own, that it's free. If it doesn't spin on its own, then it's probably going to struggle to come out.
Okay.
So let's see what we got. I think that's a no.
No.
No. I think that's also going to be seized.
No hammers, they said.
This is exactly
5 minutes in.
Extreme circumstance. Oh dear. Right. I've done a rookie mistake here. I've got a ratchet spanner on the nut, and the space is quite tight, so you start loosening the nut, and when it gets to a certain height, you're meant to take the spanner out and then do the rest by hand, sort of thing. But I've gone too far, so I can't get my spanner out now to get the ball joint splitter on there.
Oh no.
So we're having to go in with the hammer.
So Dean, that looked like it was a bit of a pain getting all of those components off, which are now, is this everything?
So these are your rear arms that we've cut off, butchered off, whatever you like to call it. We've just got back from a break, a well-earned break.
Yeah, but, absolutely.
That definitely took a lot longer than anticipated. As you can see in here, the bolts have seized inside. Yeah. So what we've had to do is actually cut them out, and unfortunately, with all the subframe, etc., in place, it doesn't really give you the room to cut them out. So it's all
hence the use of special tools.
Special tools. No stealing our ideas, guys. So yeah, so as you can see, that's the rear track arm. Same thing again.
Yeah.
Let's just assume they're all going to be like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we've done the rear, and for what it's worth, you can see the condition of your old bushes there. Coming, starting to come out.
Yeah.
The spool joint gate only got split from us, removing it, so
yeah, that
probably was intact beforehand.
So it's very much in need of the nice shiny ones that are over there.
Absolutely, including the bolts, the hardware. Yeah. So glad that we assigned that to the job. So yes, so we're going to start putting it back together.
Cool.
And then so one of us will start doing the front, someone else will start putting the back together and get the job moving.
Hopefully the front's a little bit easier in terms of getting components off, but we'll see.
What we're doing now is Alberto over here is going to start stripping the front out, getting ready for the new suspension components. We're going to remove the front under tray, and then that's going to give us access to the steering track arms, and as well as the front coffin arms.
Nice.
If you come and have a look here, you can actually see how bad your bushes really are. Do you want us to shine a light up there?
Yeah, that might be better actually.
Okay.
Nice and clear.
But what you can see is how the rubber is coming away from the arm, and that means that the bush is actually dislodging.
Okay.
And it's purely being stopped by the subframe.
And what effect would that have on the sort of driving of the car when that starts to sort of perish? And
it would have quite a big effect on the handling side of things, but because a lot of people drive the cars, they evolve with the system, so as things wear, people don't realise that they're worn. Also, if you're jumping from one car to the next, you might not realise how that is, but the real change you'll see is when you drive it home this evening.
Well, that's the thing, because I have other cars that I use on a daily basis, but now that I've driven this sort of 80, 90 miles this morning, driving it back, I should definitely notice the difference.
I'm looking forward to your feedback, but I think you're going to really see the difference.
I really hope so, yeah.
It's going to tighten everything up.
It'll be worth all of your guys' amazing effort.
I certainly hope so. Alberto is going to be replacing the front shock absorber top mounts. So the top mounts are subject to more abuse because of they're on the steering side, so turning all the time. The rear top mounts never seem to go, but we fit a lot of the front shock absorber top mounts. When we take it out, we'll actually show you how they're separated and they're parted. The rubber comes away from the aluminium inserts. So yeah, so as soon as that's out, we'll show you. With a bit of luck, it won't be corroded and need heating and melting, but let's see how we go on this one.
Fingers crossed.
That's a good sign already.
Yeah. I told you things are going to get better from here on out.
Yeah, I know. I think that's seized on there.
Okay, otherwise we need to take off and from the bottom panel.
Okay, and heat it up. Yeah, so it's looking like
we spoke too soon.
Yeah, it's likely that this one is seized. So everything will have to happen from underneath now.
Okay.
You come right in, you can see the corrosion.
Oh wow.
Underneath. And that corrosion is going to follow all the way up.
Wow.
And so what's happened is the top mount is now seized to the shaft. So what we're going to have to do now is heat that up.
Yeah.
A little bit of heat is going to melt the rubber. That'll just pop off, and then we can deal with the insert around it.
The fun just never stops with this car, does it?
No.
We don't need that there.
Need some barbecue?
So once you heated that up for a little bit, then all we'll do is pull it down. It'll separate the top mount and part of the rubber bush.
I think you separated, yeah, it's almost separated.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to see my car on fire today. It's very exciting.
This is just the start. Okay. There we go.
Moving?
Yeah. Okay. Is it hot?
Oh wow.
Yes. That's only part of it as well. So as you can see here, this is what's been left on the inside. What you've got is this aluminium insert that attaches to the rubber. It's inserted into the rubber, and the rubber's come off, but the aluminium insert is corroded onto the shaft of the shock absorber.
Should we cut it?
We can either cut it or heat it up.
Moving?
I think so.
Good.
Feels like something's moving. Wow. This is the insert that we were talking of, and that's it's getting there.
You're trying to get this off.
That's correct, yeah, and that's what's seized on there. So it's moving now.
Because of all the moisture that's just corroded inside, it's just,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's being very stubborn. It's holding on for dear life. It doesn't want to leave, but we're going to get it off. Is it doing anything? Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
Yes. Wow, you little
To be polite.
Yeah, to be polite. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
I was going to say, I do get comments on videos like this saying, well, you could do that at home, like an oil change or something. But
Oh, yeah.
this, I'm going to argue.
Look at the state of me. There's two of us here as well. People do this on the floor. Imagine that.
No. Unbelievable, guys. Wow.
The quality wash came
Good.
free as well, so
Happy days. Double whammy.
One of two.
Well done.
Wow.
Hopefully the other side's easier.
Would be nice.
We can hope. Do you think that any of this has been changed before?
Nah, this is original equipment. And
probably dated, isn't it?
this is definitely original equipment. This would have come out of factory.
Wow.
You can see by the molding marks, but these are genuine arms.
Yeah.
And yeah, this will definitely be, this would have left the factory with your car. So that's how many
19 years ago.
Yeah.
Now look at these fresh ones going in.
So something worth mentioning to you, on the bearing, and this is actually, we see this quite often when a car comes that's been repaired by a non-specialist. You see, that's the bearing there. It's got no steel plate on it. So what you need to do is you need to remove the plate from the old bearing.
Okay.
And then and put it onto the new one. And quite often, someone will come and say, I've got a noise from the front. And because it hasn't got the steel plate on it, it actually causes noise. And it's something we see quite regularly.
Okay.
Just get something to pop that out. So you just tap it over there just to move it a little bit, pop it out, and voila.
I see. So that thing normally gets missed if you don't know.
And it's only a couple of quid, but yeah, people do miss it because they don't realise that it's meant to be swapped over. Voila.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
They just corrode inside there in the aluminium insert.
So is that this?
Yeah, that's this bit here.
I see.
That's where it corrodes. And then these rubber parts of the top mount, they start to part and come away from the actual aluminium insert. So quite often when somebody goes to a garage and they get reported, it's because those are actually separating. I don't think these are original. I think these have been replaced at some stage because of the colour of them. There's a couple of manufacturers that do them in silver, whereas they're actually black.
I see.
From Porsche now as well. It's all coming together. I don't think you'll be here that late, to be honest.
Really?
No, because so the front won't take that long to do. The hard work is done now, so
it was just getting everything off, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah. That was the difficult part. So yeah, get the front done, do the track arms. Well, actually, we haven't got the front coffin arms out yet, but as Alberto pointed out earlier, the most difficult arms to get to are always the ones that are corroded and seized and you can't get them out and you have to cut them out. Yeah. The ones that are fully accessible, they always just drop out.
Yeah. So, I wonder what this will be.
Yeah, I think the fronts will be fine.
Okay.
We actually can move to the front.
We're ready to move to the front, aren't we? Cool. Okay. So we're going to start assembling the top mounts and put it up, put that all back together, and then we'll do the coffin arms after that.
Can't believe how good they look. Matches the paintwork now.
Yeah.
Would you say, is it a weird question, but how overdue being done would you say these were? Sort of.
It depends on the mileage and the conditions that they're subject to. You probably find that that's a good, I would say at least a good 5 years overdue.
Right.
Even now, if you think 997 Gen 2s, we're doing quite a few of them, doing suspension arms for the bushes, etc.
Yeah.
And you know, so they finished in 2012. So you know, cars that are 8, 9, 10 years old, well, 10 years old at least, they're already having suspension refreshers. So
it's probably an every sort of 10-year maximum job as opposed to 20 years, which is what this.
Again, depends how they're being kept, how they're being driven.
Yeah.
And what sort of mileage they're doing.
And this being on 130,000 miles.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
oh, wow.
It's probably.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, so, yeah, definitely got money's worth out of the original equipment.
What do you say we just, now that we've got all the saws out, why don't we just cut the back box off and just make it straight through?
Well, you say that. In a few months' time, we're going to have the equivalent of doing that for you.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll have to get you back to do that.
I'm really excited about this. This may or may not have been the thing I mentioned earlier on the video, but yes, hopefully some sort of exhaust system for the car. Yeah,
I forgot to mention that earlier, but absolutely. It's and what it will do is it will do away with the U pipes connecting the exhaust silencers to the cat converters. These pipes over here. And what we're going to do is replace them with a pipe with a valve in it that's controlled via vacuum. You'll have a remote fob on your keys. You'll be able to open the valve and close as you please. However, when the valves are closed, it'll be just like stock exhaust. When they're open, it'll be a very, very sports exhaust effect.
Open will fully bypass any silencers?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Absolutely.
I'm smiling just like you are behind the camera as well.
You certainly wouldn't be able to do a track day, you know, anywhere like Brands Hatch and that. You just won't get
with
past.
The valve, you know.
Yeah. switch it off, switch it on when you please.
Oh, I can't wait for that. That's very, very exciting.
Okay, ready to come down? Okay, so what we're trying to do is pull the shaft down to get the bump stop over, but it's quite slippery.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it wants to return back up again.
Yeah.
So you're fighting with that, trying to get a bump stop on the top.
But it's also slippery, so it's
But
hard
it's
to keep
slippery,
a grip on.
Tell you what, let's take that out the way, and then get it done.
Yep.
Nice.
That's it.
Lovely.
Very nice.
Back on track.
No.
Okay.
The spring.
Right. So what we do is put the spring
Actually,
back.
let me put down, no?
Yeah. So you just got to get the first bit over. We call it the tail. That's okay. Like that. Let it spring up. There we go. And then what we still do is we just feed it down, just so it stops the tension. So when we put the top mount, we're not fighting against the tension of the spring as well. Can you see it?
Yep. I say yes, but I'm not sure. Yeah, done. That's all.
It's not coming back high enough. Ah, there we go.
Nice.
Because I got the position.
There we go. So we just need to put some nuts on the top.
Awesome.
When
Looks much better.
Yeah, definitely getting there. You see the design of that. It's tapered, and then it fits into the hub side. What happens is that drops down a little bit, so the nut's just spinning the whole lot. So what we're going to need now to do is push this back up so that the taper is catching inside the hub side and then offers the resistance. Okay.
There we go. More corrosion on this.
Yeah, corrosion, but you can see the nylon in there, the nylock part of the nut. So you've got corrosion combined with the nylock, and that holds on for dear life.
Yeah.
You've got a clip for the gaiter, and my screwdriver will contact it.
Oh, I see it. It's tiny little.
So from here we can now pop the gaiter off.
Okay.
You can see in there it's popped all the way.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so now we're just going to get a spanner, and it's going to be 30, 32. Right, and what I'm going to do is just crack it off. There we go, and spin the whole lot off. So this is obviously a one-man job, really, but as you've come down for the day to get it all done quickly, that's why we're doing two of us.
Do you think this would normally be sort of 2 days worth of work?
Not quite. So without any corrosion and issues, book times, we should have been able to turn around in a day for you,
Okay.
including the four-wheel alignment.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, we're talking about just on the coffin arms alone, you're heading towards 3 hours between the front and the rear, and then the tuning forks, the track arms, the top mounts. So yeah, I think a day's work would be fair, and the alignment. But certainly with issues, this is where customers don't quite understand, you know, how much longer it can actually take.
Than what's sort of expected. Yeah.
Yeah. So when we estimate, we say subject to stripping, which is just a little disclaimer, just to let customers know that if we encounter issues like that, unfortunately the
I
cost will go up a little bit. But
after people watching this video, they might understand what that means now.
And not tried themselves.
You're trying to change it as quickly as you can, but you physically can't get it off.
If you come have a look over here, you see the, if you look from the side, that.
Yeah.
And then the side view here, you can see how it's dislodging.
Yeah. It's not even at all, is it?
No. It's actually coming out.
It's coming out from down.
Yeah.
And you can also see here underneath, you can see how the rubber's coming away from the aluminium insert.
Yes.
And that would be set in the rubber from factory, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, definitely doing the right thing by having these replaced.
Fantastic.
So these nuts have got nylock on them, and the trick to getting them off is once you've loosened them, the hotter they get, if you were to stop midway, they would lock up again.
Okay.
So you just got to keep going. As much as your arm burns, you just want to keep going until that nut is off. You can see how he's struggling there. Now, if he stopped, it would be much harder than that.
I'm about to stop, actually.
You're being filmed, Albert. Huh? Don't give up.
Shall I take over midway? We'll do a swap. I do honestly feel awful standing here holding a camera.
No.
Watch you two exert yourselves.
I'm glad you said that.
There it is.
There it is.
Nice.
This one's seen I bet you this one's got stories to tell. But yeah, there we go. You can just see how that bush is coming out. And that should be all the way in and set.
Yeah. So that is.
Yeah, that's just going to be moving.
Way past its sell by date, that one, isn't it?
Yeah, and what you'll find is rather than that pivoting on the bolt, that's going to be pivoting on the bush. And I can actually feel that moving when I do that. You can feel that moving.
So is that just going to give you lots of play?
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. So lubricate the bolts so that in 20 years' time, when the next person goes to do the job, hopefully it'll be a lot easier for them. With a bit of luck, we'll be the garage that get to do it again.
So what is going on here? This looks very, very fancy.
Yes, so at La Rose we have invested in a 4-post ramp. We're going to do a geometry on your car. We replaced all the bits which warrants an alignment, and we're going to set up the front and the rear. We just need to find it from you if you want a standard setup, get the best wear out of your tyres, or if you want slightly fast road, so it's suitable for the road. But then if you want to do the odd track day, just give you that little edge.
Is it going to compromise the ride quality?
No. You won't feel, the ride quality will feel exactly the same.
So it's in terms of handling?
Handling, a little bit more camber, basically. So what you do is you get spec from Porsche, and it's the upper end of the spec would be fast road, but still in the green, keeping it in spec. It just means you'll get a little bit less wear out of your tyres, you know, a little less life.
So it should be more fun to drive on a B road?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, why don't we try that?
Okay, fast road setup it is.
Fast road setup.
Okay.
Yeah. So we always start at the rear. We start with doing the camber, then onto the rear track. And then once the rear is set up, we move to the front. We then do the camber adjustment. On these, you can't actually adjust the caster, whereas with the older cars, you did have caster adjustment. Then we'll do the tracking, and then we'll go back to the rear and check that that's still what it's meant to be. back to the front, tied everything up, and then that's it. Four-wheel alignment done.
Awesome.
So this is where the readings are. I'll just familiarise this. So this is what Alberto's looking at to do the alignment. Right, so what we've got here is Alberto's busy adjusting the camber, which is the first adjustment before the track. Over here you can see your figures. This is the other way around. So this is the left-hand side, this is the right-hand side. He's busy adjusting the right-hand side. As you can see, it's far out. What we're looking for is 120, but as we can go up to negative 150, we're probably going to hover towards that as the fast road setup. So this negative 149 over here,
it's about right,
is your perfect fast road. It's just before it goes into the red. However, when we move the tracking, that will move.
Okay.
So as you move, as you adjust one, another one will adjust as well. And then see how the camber came down, so we're just a minute out now.
I think it's, yeah.
So from experience, that will now go down.
Yep.
There we go. Oh, painted them.
Look at that.
And then change the conical washers. And then next time you come to see us, if there's a next time, I will treat your car to a set of locking wheel bolts, because they would have been delivered to us by then.
That's amazing. So I get a little prize for coming along.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at that. And then you've put in new...
And we've put new wheel bolts, which were on the shelf.
I feel like I should really get the whole car clean now, to be honest. Which it will be getting properly clean soon. But thank you so much. That's awesome.
So we finally got to the end of a long day of putting all these suspension components on your car. We've done the four-wheel alignment. So we're just going to take it for a road test.
Yep.
Everything should be all lovely. We can send you on your way.
I can't believe how difficult it was for you guys to do just getting everything off was probably half of the work, to be honest.
Yeah,
so
I think this is probably the hardest I've ever worked doing a suspension refresh.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. No, don't worry. It's
sorry.
all part of it. Hopefully it'll make some decent viewing.
Yeah. Well, 100% this video is going to be fantastic, and I'm sure everyone watching has very much enjoyed it. So thank you so much for
You're welcome.
For letting me come and stick a camera in your face, and yourself as well all day. It's been a lot of fun for me, and I'm sure the viewers have enjoyed it too. So I'm super excited, obviously, to get in the Porsche now and take it on the road and see how it feels with all this new setup and new components. So yeah, big thanks of course to Rose Porsche and Dean for organising this and for doing this incredible work, and make sure to check these guys out. Spyder Performance, the parts that have gone on the car, website's all in the description below. You guys can check them out.
Thank you. Thank you for coming down, really appreciate it. And
it's my pleasure. It's been a lot of fun, genuinely, and hopefully it won't be too long before I'm back. And
hopefully next time we won't have to work so hard.
Hopefully next time we won't have to work so hard. Exactly. Anyway, thank you so much. Next thing for me then is to get in the car. I'll let you guys take it on a road test and then see how it is. Thanks so much.
Thank you.